Three, two, one. Hi guys, it's Hash from the Disciples, and Master Duel is finally out. And my Lord and Savior Betty asked me to do a video because played a tournament yesterday. It was a really like small 60-man tournament, single elimination, but it was my first tournament ever, and I won. It was hosted by Pack, and we figured it would be some nice content because we would simultaneously showcase the deck and our thoughts on the game. Cormac's with me in the VC. Cormac, say hi.
Hi, how's everyone doing? You
So
can't
yeah.
you can't respond, but yeah.
um, but yeah, so Cormac, what do you think of the game so far?
Yeah, so when the game dropped, I was literally like about to get into my car to go to work that morning, and I was like, "What the hell? Oh my God, this just dropped out of nowhere. This is crazy."
Yeah, it was so
And then
sudden.
I get little tidbits here and there throughout the day that everyone's like, "Oh, it's a different ban list from TCG. They're missing loads of stuff from the most recent card pool." And initially, I was really like disappointed, I guess, because I was expecting it to be a carbon copy of what TCG slash OCG would be. Like they just have like current day like regular Yu-Gi-Oh.
I think we were all
But when I
there.
kind of yeah, we all kind of had that idea, right? We kind of got a little bit
Yeah,
catfished in that regard.
absolutely, absolutely.
But but once we kind of came to the realization of what this game actually is, that it's it's set a couple of formats back. I think it's based on what April 2021 OCG ban list, with
Who
like a different card
cares?
pool and stuff. But
It's
who
it's
cares?
like
It's like slightly
exactly.
modified. But that's the thing. Once you recognize like that's it's just a different game, and you just like accept that at face value. Um, I started looking into like what the game is actually like and appreciating like how well it plays, all the different functions and stuff like that. How surprisingly affordable it is.
Yeah,
There's a lot of like things that after the initial sort of shock wearing off of being like, oh, this isn't exactly what I expected it to be. This game was like it's I wouldn't say it's exceeded expectations for what I thought it was going to be,
it's
but
pretty based. It's pretty based.
it is pretty good. It is pretty good. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
pretty good.
Like
It's pretty good.
yeah, like yeah, for like having to start looking into a like completely new format out of the blue that I was not expecting to have to do. Um it's like really interesting like seeing how people are like all adapting to that straight away really quickly. Like a best of one is a little bit kind of sketch, but hopefully we have options for best of three in the future, or at least in tournaments we can, we'll have options for best of three. But the differences to how this, to regular, over the board Yu-Gi-Oh. Um, at least for now, like the novelty of them is like quite engaging. I don't know how it's going to work out like in the long term. Maybe it kind of wears off and we get really sick of best of one and stuff like that. But yeah, this game has been really good so far.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think this game has been amazing. Like for those who don't know, the ban list is a bit weird. Hence the deck you're seeing on the screen right now. Trident is limited. Zeus is limited. What's going on? Basically, they've decided to kind of like mix two ban lists together, but it's also outdated. Like it's an older ban list. Like there's no Burst of Destiny or Dawn of Majesty in this game. Um, Actually, no, there is Dawn of Majesty, I think.
I
But
think there's no Dawn of Majesty, but there is the Synchro Storm set, which has the Lyrelus, because I think that came out just before Dawn of Majesty in the OCG. I think.
then how do they have the Drytron cards? Did the Drytron cards come out from a different set for them?
Yeah, yeah, the Drytron, like the Mu Beta and the Diviner came out the set before Dawn of Majesty, I think.
Oh, sure, sure. All right. That
Yeah.
makes sense. But yeah, so we kind of we also have 3 Maxi, which is a very controversial point, but it's
Mhm.
honestly become like this just state of like everyone acknowledges that this game could be better, but everyone's also like, who cares? This is Beast. We're playing
Mhm.
Yu-Gi-Oh. It's fun. We can play
Yeah.
our like grass decks or our pure zoo decks or like just any deck because everything is legal. Nothing is bad. It's so
Mhm.
funny and it's
One
so
thing about
enjoyable.
this, actually, that you mention it, is that because a lot of this is taken from, a lot of things in the OCG, so you have the Maxi, but then because of Maxi and OCG, they have a lot of other arguably more degenerate things legal. A lot of
For sure.
people have been really excited at getting to play like some of their old favorite decks from like ages ago because like they've been banned in TCG, but like so many of the cards are now just legal in this game, right? So
Hmm.
like the thing I've gotten from a lot of people, like their first reaction is like, oh my god, I can play X deck that I haven't been able to play for like 6 months to a year. And I really, really like this deck, and I get to have a chance to like experience it again, which is like a really fun thing. Like even for us ourselves, like you'll see on the screen now that we have like the Zoo deck. We like really enjoyed playing this deck back in like LCS like 14ish format. I think it was like May,
Yeah,
June of
so like,
last year in that sort of
yeah,
area. Uh,
June.
yeah, so like
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
to revisit that again, like for ourselves, is like a really fun thing. And then you see people building things like, the Thunder Chaos piles. You see people building like, like Luna Light, like virtual. I mean, virtual the VFDs people, have some, choice opinions on VFD. Understandably, it's a bit of an, dumb floodgate. But like, getting to play that deck again and it be more viable than it maybe currently is in the TCG. Like all these things, like it's kind of like a little bit of a nostalgia trip at the moment,
Hmm.
which
It
I think
really
is like kind
is.
of helping like get people like really hyped. Which, when I think about it now, from a sort of like, well, not so much a marketing perspective, but a way of just like getting people in who've been like playing the TCG or
It's an
whatever.
amazing idea.
Um,
It's amazing.
it's a really good idea actually in
It's,
concept when you
yeah,
think about it.
it's
Yeah,
insane.
it seems pretty obvious when you think about it, a little bit,
Yeah, absolutely.
which is
I
yeah.
guess uh, um, it's just the scare right now is like, all right, we have this. Is it just gonna be like this forever? Because if Konami don't
Mhm.
start adding like the alternative modes and everything, like including best of three, or like introducing options for unique ban lists like TCG only,
Mhm.
OCG only, and so on, then maybe we all get bored. But the concern is only with whether Konami or not keeps us engaged. If they find a way to keep us engaged in the game, I don't think this game is ever gonna die. As of right now,
Mhm.
it does feel like a kind of a pre-release where there's not that much available to you, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like there's this weird thing where like a lot of people that we know were just like built a deck, and you could build like a meta deck like relatively quickly in this game, like like a couple of hours. And then they just went straight onto ranked and then just started grinding ranked, and then they hit platinum one within like 1 to 2 days. And then
Mm-hmm.
at this current stage that we're at now, once you've hit platinum one, there's really not a lot to do at the moment. Like the game
Yeah,
is kind of lacking in like more options.
we do know we
This
do know
this
there's
current
gonna be more stages after plat later
Yeah,
on,
yeah. We feel
so
like that's going to
it's just a
happen
matter of
probably
time.
from next month, right? Because like
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think we have the code that says like there's like three more stages after
And this
platinum, right?
season finishes on the 1st of Feb anyway, so it's not
Yeah,
that long.
exactly. Like
It's not that
yeah,
long.
like it feels like this is your 2 weeks. Like just get in, get your cards, get ready, your basic setup, and then hopefully the idea for that is that then we get to February 1st, and then that's when like the first proper like season of this game like kicks off.
Yeah, I mean,
With
we have
more
like an
things going
events
on.
tab that's empty right now. When you go to like the format drop down, you see there is like supposed to be more than one option for formats, but right now we only have
Mhm.
one. So like, eh, from a design standpoint, this game has everything it needs to be successful. It's just a matter of Konami needs to decide to keep engaging with us, keep having events, keep throwing new things at our face, giving us more rewards, deal passes, whatever, some way to interact with the like interface of the game itself. And as long as that remains to be the case, I actually do not have a problem, even if we never get a carbon copy of what the TCG is, because as long as you treat Master Duel as like a its own game and ideally has its own competitive environment, then it's completely fine, right?
Yeah,
Everyone's happy. Everyone's happy.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, we will talk more about this in the podcast later this week. But for now, we'll show you this pure ZOODIAC, which is very funny and very fun. And yes, if anyone's wondering about the weird ratios, like one Twin Twister, one Lightning Storm, three Cosmic, this is literally what I own. I think my one criticism of this game is that they are a bit harsh on the ultra rares. I think they're actually very harsh on the ultra rares. It's
Mm.
really hard to get them, like really, really hard.
Yeah, it is quite difficult for sure.
I'm trying to build Dinosaur, and the deck has 30 ultra rares. It's so expensive. Like actually, oh my god. Um, but no,
Yeah.
it's been really fun. But yeah, the theory behind this pure Zoo deck is very simple. You blind second, which is reliable somehow in this format. It just works. because you play so much non-engine and then you normal summon a zoo, you resolve a Borbo and life is good. And then you win on the next turn. It's quite literally, but it's just about it. There's not much else to say. um, yeah, deck is really fun. Played the tournament. What were my matchups? I forget. Um, but
I
like,
can't remember what your early rounds were because I wasn't like tuned in as much then. But I remember you played against like a PKV, a couple of virtual worlds.
oh yeah, we played against Nesh and he made me draw 10 cards off Maxi.
Oh yeah, you thought resolving VFD would win in the game. Spoiler alert: it did not win in the game.
That was quite funny. Um, but yeah, this deck is still playable with one Zeus. F-Zero kind of helps with that. Although, to be honest, the F-Zero doesn't always come up, like, rarely actually. One Zeus is almost always all you need, right? Because, like, you poke with Therablade on your turn 2, so they're under 71 life points. Then you Zeus them, and then turn 3, you normal summon another Zoo, you summon Therablade back with Chaka 9, you summon Drill B-Movie, and you attack for 71, and it's game.
There was also one small thing where I feel like from the little bit of VOD that I've been watching and games I've been seeing from people playing, like even at high ranks and whatnot, there doesn't seem to be a massive amount of Nibiru going around at the moment. Now that could change because I think things like Maxi into Nib could end up being like a pretty relevant thing. But the one Zeus isn't as much of a hindrance because if there's a lack of Nib, you can feel a bit more comfortable going into your 4 and 6 mat Zeuses, and then like if you establish that, then you're probably winning the game anyway.
Definitely.
You can do it with less fear. So
the meta is really hard to figure out. I feel like we're gonna need some form of like data tracker at some point because the card was just simply way too big. Like everyone's everyone's right now just playing their favorite deck, except for a very few people. Some people are actually just try harding. Totally not us, by the way. Totally.
Totally not. No.
But yeah, Desires is based on this deck because there's only 3 cards in your deck, right? No, there's 2 cards in your deck. Wait, no, there's 3. There's Zoo Monsters, there's Non-Engine, and then there's Monster Reborn. There's 3 cards in your deck.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, pretty much.
This deck is also more consistent in this format because Tenki's at 3. But I just banned Rat is banned with who cares? These cards suck anyway. So
yeah. Like the only thing Rat band being like hugely relevant for is that it like shuts off the more consistent access to like Draco Future turn 1. But to be honest, Trident is like good enough. I mean, first off, just to clarify, we said before, I think blinding second. So you'll notice here there's none of like the Solemns, the Floodgates, sort of things like that. That maybe if you saw people playing Pure Zoo a couple of months ago, like we would be applying those cards and then choosing to go first. Couple of reasons for blinding second. One is that the hand traps are reliable and the decks aren't like either aren't super consistent or people haven't really fully figured out, the whole ways of playing effectively into Maxi and stuff like that yet. And also just like Zeus going second is just super, super powerful. But also like we were saying earlier about how difficult it is with the Ultra Rares, like three strikes, 3 judgments, Imperial Order, Macrocosmos. I know that strikes, judgments, and order are all like Ultra Rares. I'm not sure about Macro, that might be a super. But like that's like 7 Ultra Rares right there. And like we were focusing on crafting the hand traps because you need those in the deck anyway. And like we were not crafting all the Ultra Rares in time, so.
Yeah, no, that's definitely my biggest issue with the game. It's that the Ultra Rares are way too hard to get, like extremely hard to get. But otherwise, this game has been like very delightful experience so far. I'm really happy with it. Shout out to Herman, by the way. Pure as a god. But yeah, I think that's about it. Is there anything left to say, Cormac?
No, nothing too much. I think this was just, it was fun, like getting to have a first, like it's not a massive tournament, but your first tournament setting in this game, and kind of get a little bit of a look into what the game's looking like in the future. By the way, the tournament system they have set up for this game is really, really like clean and slick. Looking through it. Like they have that set up straight away, which is really, really nice. It means that like you can set up tournaments and have them going like really fast. So I wouldn't be surprised if like when they start putting up events soon, like you hope that they have them soon. They have all that infrastructure set up to be able to just get people in and get them playing and get rounds going really quickly. That's the one benefit of Best of One as well, that like rounds go really quickly, so you can.
Oh, dude, the whole tournament was like 3 hours, 6 rounds in 3 hours. It was ridiculously fast. It was really nice.
Yeah, which is like another like a nice thing about it. So like you hope that like because that's the case, they can like get a bunch of tournaments and like events in like quickly, because you can
Absolutely.
just get the turnover done so fast. So
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, this in short, yeah, deck is good. Game is fun. I mean, I think everyone's playing it at the moment. Like you see the numbers on Twitch of people watching this game,
It's
like it's
insane.
crazy.
It's insane. Like there's like 100,000 watchers plus every day at the moment.
Yeah,
It's
like
ridiculous.
it's madness.
Oof.
So like if you aren't playing this game, I'd recommend at least looking into it. Like recognize that like it is not like just a TCG simulator. It is like it has like all the cards in Yu-Gi-Oh, but it is not a one-to-one carbon copy. And when you understand that going in, just understand that like that's what the game is, and take it from there, because there's
Yeah.
a lot to enjoy about this,
Yeah,
in my
definitely.
opinion anyway.
It's like when my friends asked me if I think Dueling Book's gonna die, and I was like, absolutely not. But I don't see myself opening Dueling Book for a while because this game is way
Yeah,
too
yeah,
fun.
yeah,
But
for
yeah,
sure. Yeah.
that's about it. I have recorded a replay that you guys are gonna see after this part of the video. So now that we've discussed everything, I'll show you guys some replays and showcase the deck, I guess. Um, it's very similar from how it was on the TCG. Just a couple of things are a bit different. Like again, um, best of one means that you should blind second and so on. And yeah, otherwise this deck is very nice. And in this replay, my opponent is playing a synchro combo deck. So let's just fast forward here and like go through the motions of his deck. I'm not gonna explain these all one by one because, frankly, I don't know some of these cards. But this is a prime example of, oh, what do you do if your opponent goes like full wombo combo on you and you play pure zoo and you're blinding second? The answer is you need to just draw an engine, and this deck, you saw how many non-engine it plays. It plays a lot. This hand is quite weak. Actually, it's on the weaker end, I would say. It has 3 zoos and only 2 non-engine, 0 hand traps out of around. How many hand traps was it? 14, maybe 15, maybe 13. I'm not sure. But yeah, somewhere around that region. So you should be able to see at least 1, 2 more often than not. Either way, my opponent's going to go off here and do a bunch of stuff. I think he's going to end on FA Drawn Dragster, Crystal Wing, and Shen Shen, which, even if I don't top deck a non-engine that interacts with that board, uh, is still gonna get board wiped by Zeus. And if I top deck a non-engine like a second Chalice or a Lightning Storm or anything of that kind, or a Reborn even, I get to end on more. So this is not the worst position ever. Um, we just have to wait. The game is not the fastest, but not the slowest as well. I think it's fine if people get used to it, but it's just gonna take some time. At this point, he activated Black Garden, and I thought he was gonna FTK me. It was really scary, I'll be honest. But turns out it was just a combo piece to revive his librarian, keep going. It looks like a really cool deck, I'll be honest. But yeah, we draw Lightning Storm. He negates it with John Dragster. We chalice the Lightning Storm. And from here on, it's just normal summon Zuya's effect. And you just do the Zoo thing of just summoning a big fat Zeus and hoping it gets through. And just sitting on it and then winning the next turn. So yeah, Hammer Kong. He dropped Imprim here. This Imprim doesn't ever matter, really. It makes the game a bit slower, but we're still fine. We still win. So it's chill. Even though it is a misplay from his end. So yeah, now we go overlay like a bunch of stuff. Very important to note there, I banished the Shen Shen with Whiptail because you just want to get rid of resources. As much as you can in this deck, because this is a very tempo based deck. Because Zeus is a very tempo favorable card. So yeah, he tries to play back here. Our Zeus has 4 materials, so it's 2 uses unless he has an interaction like Droplet or Imper, which he doesn't. He dies to 1 use. We have Reborn now, and that is just going to be game. I decided to play into Nibiru because he would have nibbed me the turn before because I went over 5 summons. And if I lose to Nibiru now, it would be only if he top decked it, and I wasn't willing. And I also, he's playing a combo deck, so I just thought he wasn't playing Nibiru. So yeah, this is one game where you just go second into combo deck and you win. This deck does that quite consistently. Really nice. Alright guys, that was it for the video. Thank you so much for watching, and if you liked it, please drop us a Like, comment, subscribe, follow us on our socials, Facebook, Twitter. We have an Instagram as well. We are trying to push these forward with the new year coming up and trying to expand. So please support us, give us feedback, let us know what you liked, what you didn't, let us know if you want some more Master Look content. And yeah, thanks for watching. Drop us a sub and take care, guys.